Alek, how was your off day yesterday?
It was great. It was great. How was your guys' off day?
It was good.
We didn't
It was
have
good.
an off day,
I didn't
Alek.
really
We
have
were
an off
working.
day. had to do the radio show, but after going through a couple of different climates, you make it back here to San Diego. You guys get to start a homestand. You guys are your bullpen in particular is off to a fantastic start. For you, year two, really getting an opportunity to be here at the big league side of things. How are things different for you this year than maybe last year when you came up for the brief stint?
Yeah, this year I definitely feel like I have a bigger role in the bullpen. Last year I was kind of just throwing whenever they needed, and this year I'm obviously being used a lot more. So that's an adjustment for me for sure. That's obviously great. I love being able to impact the team and being able to impact the game. So it's kind of trying to figure out the routine of I got to be ready every day and keeping my body in the right place. That's kind of what I'm dealing with.
Alek, obviously, for you personally, it matters a lot what you do every time you're out there. But you're also part of a bigger piece, and that is the whole bullpen. How much of a team within a team are the guys in the bullpen, especially on this squad?
Yeah, it's great, like we're kind of isolated out there, right? Like you're almost like you said, like a little team within the team. But I think we're always just trying to pick each other up, like for me, it's like, how can I make sure how can I cover some innings, make sure these other guys are feeling good, and like vice versa. That's what, we're always trying to pick each other up. Guys, a bad day, how can we pick them up? How can we get them ready for the next one? And I think if we just go about it like that, I think we're going to have a very successful year. I think at times the bullpens can get selfish, and I think we don't have one of those, and so I think that's really big for us.
Alek Jacob joins us here, Padre reliever, off to a great start this season. And Alek, we've heard Michael King talk about that starting rotation group kind of having a friendly kind of competition within the group there. Does that apply to the bullpen? Because you guys are kind of doing different things out there. Does that kind of competition apply to the bullpen as well, or is it you guys look at it a little bit differently?
A little bit. Yeah, it is definitely different though, right? Because they're all getting their own starts individually, and like Suarez will be our guy getting the save opportunities. We can't really have that competition necessarily as much, but I do think there is something to like just like being available every day, how many appearances. I think we all take pride in that. I think that's a big thing, just because throughout the whole season, you see like how big of a workload someone can take on. I mean, that makes you really valuable. So I think there's definitely some competition, I guess, within each other there. But yeah, maybe a little different than the starters.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised to hear that you guys don't secretly root for Suarez to give up a run so that somebody else can get a save opportunity. That doesn't happen.
Never. No way.
You mean when I was in college and I was secretly rooting against that guy to give up a couple runs so I could start the next game, I was not a good teammate? Wow, that's interesting. I'm just kidding, obviously. Alek Jacob is with us. Alek, discuss a little bit your style and how you got, we see the sidearm delivery a little bit, and how you kind of, came to that. And also being a reliever, how much did you start in your life growing up? I don't think anybody starts out as a reliever, right? High school, pony league, whatever. How did you get to where you are, and how comfortable are you here now that you're in this spot?
Yeah, so I was a starter pretty much my whole career. Even in college, I started 3 out of the 4 seasons that I was there. I kind of just got thrown into a relief role my sophomore year. But other than that, I was a starter the whole way. So kind of honestly, pro ball was where it all started for me for the most part, with relieving. And so that was kind of a interesting change of pace, really, because throwing once a week compared to sometimes 4 times a week now, that's quite a bit different. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's something that I feel like I can impact the game every day. And when I was starting, I didn't have that, and I feel like there would be days where it'd be sometimes hard for me to like stay focused on things, because I know that there's no way that I can do anything to help the team that day. And so that's definitely something that I really enjoy about relieving more. And then as far as like throwing sidearm and stuff, I quickly realized that my velocity was not going to be something that was going to get me to the big leagues. So I had to try and be creative with it. So yeah, I messed around with a bunch of different things, dropped down. I had some other, coaches and stuff like, push me to stay and drop down and like keep working on it. And it's been great ever since. I've obviously been able to find myself here and been able to have some success and ready to just continue with it.
Yeah, you certainly have found a way to be creative and get big leaguers out. You're off to, as I said, a good start. Alek Jacob joins us here. And Alek, oftentimes I think folks on the outside, they hear about the bullpen load and how much you guys are having to get out there and throwing on a given year. What are some of the things you guys do to combat the workload? Like, how is it you guys it's inevitable, right? You guys are going to get out there. You're going to have times where you just, you've had to come out there a few times consecutively. What are kind of some of the things you guys do to combat, feeling terrible while you're out there?
For sure. There's a lot of things, right? Like you got to save your bullets, I think is a big thing. Like if you throw the day before, the next day, you got to be smart with how much you're doing in catch play and how much you're doing pregame. You don't want to do too much and then not have anything when you get out there. So that's kind of an adjustment I've had to make, along with like after throwing, like, all right, I got to, do everything I can post game to give myself, the 18 hours to get ready for tomorrow. And that's also been a little bit of an adjustment. So I'm definitely learning and getting everything figured out. And it's been great. I think there's a lot of things that play into it. You really just got to listen to your body and just listen, whatever it's telling you day by day, you kind of do what you need.
Well, Alek, real quick, one last thing. I just do we have time for another question, or do you have to go, Alek? Because I don't want to make you late. Okay, sorry. I'm just curious in the bullpen, who's the biggest character out there? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but who's the guy? Yeah, who's the guy most likely to loosen things up during the course of a day or a season or a road trip or something?
Wandy Peralta.
I wasn't expecting that, but
I don't always know what he's saying, but but I tell you what, he's got those guys laughing so hard down there sometimes. I'm so curious, and I know he's just a character.
No doubt, Alek. Hey, man, we appreciate your time, man, coming on and hanging with us. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk again down the line.
Thanks, Alek.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.